Hello cave dwellers. Today's video I hope will be of benefit to you Amiga owners. It offers a twist on a product that's been around for a while now and no doubt you're aware of, the Gotek USB floppy emulator. Using the parts I'm laying out before you here, we'll be mounting the floppy emulator in an external disk drive, and we'll be adding this special ingredient to our even CIA chip to fool the computer into thinking the external drive is drive DF0, doing away with any compatibility problems and eliminating the need to do anything drastic to our case to retrofit the Gotek inside. The external drive came as a recent donation. There are no markings to identify it other than the internal controller board, which is marked as an AmiDisk Issue 4 floppy controller. We'll be reusing the floppy controller board as part of this project, but first the board and everything else in this external drive needs a really good clean. Today's video really isn't a review of the Gotek floppy controller. If that's something you'd like to see, then please do let me know, but I'm aware there's a lot of them out there already. As well as the controller board, we'll reuse the cables from the external floppy drive. The Gotek just drops straight in as a replacement for the existing drive, so make sure the cables are the correct way round, with the red cable in pin 1. The Amiga drives are labelled from DF0 upwards. External drives receive DF1, DF2, 3, 4 and so on as you daisy chain external drives. Without the modification to the CIA chip, and as I've seen on many other YouTube videos, simply putting the Gotek in an external case will give it the label DF1. Now you can tell your system to boot from DF1 if you have a newer version of Kickstart, but so many games are hard coded to look for DF0 you will run into problems, which is why this mod was important to me to keep the whole thing seamless to every single program that I might want to run. The Gotek has now taken the place of the floppy drive in the external casing. I've given it a clean up and, for a finishing touch, we'll give it some new feet to stand on. What a happy looking Gotek. A USB key formatted in the FAT32 file system plugs into the front, and onto that you just copy all of your ADF files, the Amiga disk image format which no doubt you're familiar with if you've used emulators. So at this point our external drive is DF1, and now it's time to make that modification with this, the A500 boot selector. It's a well-built little thing onto which the even CIA chip piggybacks, and it comes with a switch so you can enable or disable the effect that it has. If you're brave enough, you can drill a hole in your case and mount the switch. I'm choosing to place it into the trapdoor for access when I need it, or you could do away with it altogether and just use some jumpers to permanently enable the modification. It really is as easy as it looks to install. Pop out the CIA chip, install the modification, and the CIA chip goes back on top again, ensuring that you put it back in the same way around. And then I've routed the nice long cable on the switch through to the trapdoor. And with that we fire up the Amiga, and success, it's booting from the external Gotek drive. The Gotek looks for a file called selector.adf, which it will boot, and then it will list all of your ADF files and you can assign them to the drive. And to save booting to this menu every time you want to change the disk, you can assign 999 different ADF files and cycle through them using the buttons on the front of the Gotek. In this example I'll assign the game Jet Set Willy 2 to the first slot and Workbench 1.3 to the second slot. With slot 1 selected, sure enough it boots into the game, and remember this is a floppy drive emulator so it loads at the same speed as the original floppies. and then if I choose slot 2 and reboot the machine, it loads the Workbench 1.3 disk. No fuss, no hassle, just a really convenient and fairly cheap way to use your Amiga as your floppy disk collection perhaps starts to fail, and in comparison to hard disk options, which get more expensive. I hope that twist on the external Gotek drive has proven useful to some of you. I know it certainly did to me, which is why I wanted to share it. And in case you were wondering, if you flick the switch, sure enough your original floppy drive still works. And of course the modification is completely reversible. One issue I did run into, which took a while to figure out, was that the RF shielding was pushing down on the CIA chip as it was higher than normal. I didn't realise this and went round in circles. I even upgraded my Kickstart 1.2 to 1.3 thinking that might be the problem. I've left 1.3 in there, but I can tell you now this also works on Kickstart 1.2. It's completely transparent to the Amiga itself. I hope that's proven useful to some of you. If so, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, come back soon, and take care, cave dwellers. Bye for now.